Hi Stampin' friends, it's Chris Slogar from BuckeyeInklings.com. And I have something today that combines two of my favorite things. If you know me or watch my blog or my videos, you know I love a fun fold and I love to use designer paper and as many coordinating patterns as possible. So we have this really fun and bright and cheerful suite in the 2019 Occasions catalog called Happiness Blooms. And today I'm using the stamps. Now there are no greetings in this set, so I've also pulled in itty bitty birthdays for my greetings that you'll see on this card. But we've used a lot of these little stamps and some of the bright, really cheerful papers, some of the enamel dots. So really fun, cheery set. All right, so when you open this, it looks like sort of a normal gatefold, right? Except there's a panel over the front. And when you open it, you see this panel of 8 little sections that you can decorate. I've used the designer paper and many of the stamps in the suite. But if you fold it like this, and this is why it's a hidden message card, it opens to a new group of designer paper and images. Okay, so did you see that? So you pull it open like this, you see this side, all right? And when it's closed, you don't see that pink side, right? Okay, so we're opening it, we're folding it, and finding those hidden panels. So really fun. You might have to make a note out here, like to tell your recipient, fold for the hidden message or something, but I just think this is so slick. This is not my original idea. This has been around a while. I've seen it, probably saw it on Frenchie's website first, the France Martin's site. So I've made my dimensions a little different. So this Night of Navy card base is 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm going with quarter points on the card, both for scoring this way and for slicing this way. So let's go right to that card base so I can show you what I mean and how that gets made. All right, so I need my scoring tool. And like I said, the Night of Navy card base is a regular, half sheet of cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5. We're going to score at 2 1/8, 4 1/4, and 6 3/8. Okay, so that's quarter points. Then what we need to do to get those little sections to separate, we need to slice the card in this direction. We're going to do that on our trimmer. And just get that scoring blade out of the way. We need to slice between the first and third score line in 3 locations, okay? And those locations are quarter points, 1 3/8. So I'm putting that edge at 1 3/8. And I'm going to start scoring just at that score line, 2 1/8. And make sure this is straight in there. We're going to cut. Did I say score? I meant cut. We're using the cutting blade. We're cutting between 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. Okay, so we're cutting between that first and third score line. And we need to do that at the halfway mark, which is 2 3/4. So I'm sliding over to 2 3/4. And again, this time I'll start at the bottom, 6 3/8, and go to 2 1/8. Okay, it's always good if you use both sides of your blade anyway. And we were right there. All right, then we need to slide over to, the last one will be at 4 1/8. Okay, and we're going to cut again between 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. Okay, so that first and third score line. And that is the hardest thing about this card, to make this mechanism work. What I'm gonna do is just fold on those score lines. So of course we're making a gatefold, right? So we'll start with that gatefold look. And then in the center here, I'll just burnish these as well. Okay, so you basically have this sort of like a W shape, and you can see this is where the magic happens. These pieces are going back and forth. All right, better to show you with the white pieces in place. Okay, remember we have these white pieces that we're gonna see with stamped images. They measure, okay, remember these sections are 2 1/8 inch wide. These are just under 2 1/8 inch wide. So I would say 2 1/16. Okay, so they're 2 1/16 by 5.5 inches long. And all we're going to do is kind of thread them like you're, you know, basket weaving through this slotted center section. Okay, so right here I have one in place. And then on the other side, I'm going to do it the opposite way. Okay, so I'm going to have the white part up at the top, and then I'm going to go under the center section. And that one's a little tight. Let me make sure I get that in there, yeah. And then over the third in this case, and under the fourth. Okay, so that is it. Now we're just decorating, okay? When I close this at the center, it opens right up to the other side. Okay, super fun. Now, it may feel a little sticky at first. The one I've been using a lot moves very freely, because at first, you know, these slotted pieces are really pretty tight because we just cut them. But after you move them a bit, they do start to loosen up. So this will open and close very easily. Okay, so on to decorate the front of the card, I just used some of the designer paper. This measures 5 3/8 by 2, each of these two pieces. And let me just put those down. I've done some of the stamping already, and I'll just give you a couple of hints as we go through the inside. That's where you might run into some tricky points. Let me see, I did have these cut so that they would align. Yeah, here. Okay, so this is the front of the card, and I'm putting the two designer paper pieces here and here on the front. Okay, and I've already stamped, just to save time, I've already stamped this image for the front, this beautiful flower. Let's see, here's my fast fuse. The Whisper White measures 2 3/4 by 4, and then I have a piece of lovely lipstick to back it for a matte back that measures 3 by 4 1/4. Okay, so let me just put those together. And I stamped an extra of these little petal sections to pop up. I just like a little dimension, a little bit of the fun stuff. I've got that there. I've got these enamel dots. Actually, they're a little bit hidden on my card. You don't have to hide them. I've just got like a green on green one here, an extra blue dot along here, a Calypso coral one down here. These are fun. These are really fun to work with, and you know, obviously you don't have to hide them like I do, but I just like how subtle that is when they're just kind of tucked in with the patterns there. And when you're, you know, in person, you see that so much more obviously, and it's always those little details that make a big difference. Okay, I've got some pineapple punch ribbon already tied in bows. So let me grab a glue dot and stick that on. Okay, so there's the front panel, and we are just going to attach it to the left half here of the gatefold. So let me just get my fast fuse. Make sure you're only putting your adhesive on the half that will cover the left half of the card. Okay, and let me just center this, and then we'll go to decorate the inside. Okay, so the thing to be careful of here, now we are going to use a bunch of these little designer paper pieces. You need 4 of each color. You need 4 1 1/4 by 2 inch pieces of both the navy, and I used the lovely lipstick on the other side. What we're gonna do is we'll put the navy ones down first on the section, you know, where you first open the gatefold like a normal card. All right, do this quickly here. And we're putting them on the cardstock sections, okay? And then we will stamp on the white sections. So, oops, great. Let me grab another one because that's going to be sticky. We don't want that. We don't want it to all stick together. Okay, so we have 4 on this side. Now, be careful here that you're putting the next group, the lovely lipstick group, in the right place, okay? You don't want to simply turn this card over, right, and attach them here, because the back of the finished card, you know, it's blank. What you need to do, after you have the gatefold open and you've decorated this side, you need to do that magic little fold where you open up to this set of this panel, okay? And that's where you want to attach the next section, or the next 4 of these little designer paper pieces. And they measure, I think I said 1 1/4 by 2. So you don't have to decorate every section. I just think it's fun to have, you know, the cardstock covered by designer paper, and then I'm going to stamp in the white sections. Isn't this much easier than it would have, you know, appeared from just looking at the sample? All right, and I'm sure you have all kinds of stamp sets where you have like a lot of little images. Like this would be really cute for Valentine's Day with some Valentine's paper and a bunch of little hearts throughout. But what we'll do then is just start stamping. I've actually got 5 colors lined up here and a ton of stamps. So let me just open them all up and I'll just show you real quick how this comes together. I think you'll have fun with this if you try it. Of course, if you get, you know, past the cutting, that's probably the hardest part, and even that wasn't so hard, right? Okay, so I've got a little Calypso coral flower up here with a green leaf. Call Me Clover, I should say. Whoopsie. Oh, pretty good. I've got a greeting. It's your day from that Itty Bitty Birthdays. Handy little set. I'll just put that in here. And let's see, I've got a big yellow star flower. I'm sorry, Pineapple Punch. Hope you get the names. And a couple of the little lovely lipstick ones here. This is so fun, you know, just to come up with whatever little patterns you want to use and whatever stamps. All right, what else? Another lovely lipstick flower. And that leaf again. I do like that little leaf. Okay. You might give that a quick second to dry. Take my chances here. And I'm going to fold open to the other side. Now, on the other side, I do have a flower that is sort of a little big for the square from that set, but I really wanted to use it. So what I did, I pulled this panel down a bit to stamp this. Okay, I've got it in Calypso Coral. I want to still keep it low to the bottom, because if you stamp them too high, like say this one was up a little higher into this section, you will see that on the back of the card. Okay, so you kind of want to stay within, you know, the size of these panels, but this flower that barely fits, I'm going to squeeze in by pulling the panel down while I do my stamping. And it has a center that is pretty cool. It matches up. I think. There we go. And then you will have to kind of carefully thread that back through here. Let me do it this way. It'll be easier. So just, you know, keeping that basket weave pattern going. All right, so what else did I have there? I think I had another greeting. Oh yeah, I have Cheers to You, also from Itty Bitty Birthdays. And another of these great star flowers, these really spiky flowers that goes with the paper. And I have a few more of these lovely lipstick little guys. So you could leave some of these panels blank to write a note or sign your card as well. And let's see, one of these, I like this flower. And one more green leaf. Okay, so you see how quickly that comes together. It looks way more tricky than it actually is. Oh, I've got a little blue center I can put in here. And that reminds me on the first panel, okay, so I can fold that back together and get back to, see that first side? I also have 3 little dots. I'm gonna go over these 3 dots with my lovely lipstick 3 dots. Okay, so there you have it. The front, of course, it looks like a normal gatefold. The first set of panels and the second set of panels. Isn't that fun? I mean, can you just imagine with your designer papers what you can come up with and your stamps? So look through them for this application where you've got, you know, a lot of use of a lot of little stamps, okay? Because we have a lot of great coordinating stamp sets that will work well for this. And if you like these colors in this suite, and it's still January of 2019, I do have a card kit, class to go available with this suite using these same colors, not for this card in particular, but for card bases that are already made. If you have a purchase, I have a class that goes free with that purchase. Okay, so check that out at buckeyeinklings.com. Otherwise, lots of great project ideas and still pictures of other projects that I haven't done YouTube videos on my website, buckeyeinklings.com. If you can help me out by shopping with me, I would so appreciate that. I always send a gift and a card with orders over $35. I always send a card for any order. So thanks so much for checking out my project. I hope you'll try it. It's really fun. Thanks a lot. Bye.